For years, an underground war has raged for dominance over the small town of Fraser Park between two clans. The 248 from the north.
We roll together. We die together.
And the 245 from the south.
Yo, clam chowder! It's the end of days out there, J-Tro. The darkness has come. Back your state up off my flavor. Listen up, y'all. We gonna break history tonight.
The battle for the FP has only just begun.
3, 2, 1.
Yo, Citro, you gonna set this shit off or what, man?
You damn right, yo. We're gonna boom with some shiznot tonight. The DDR is in his house.
That's right, Double D's, Dr. Pepper, YMCA, motherfucker. Look out, it's coming at you. Stray with the gays and the... I don't know. Why,
you know what?
Why are you guys making me do this shit?
You know what? If you could have sold it just a little bit harder, you could have been a character in this movie.
Yeah. No!
See, I couldn't have been in this movie because I'm black. Because this is a movie of extreme wiggerisms where there's no black people in it at all.
Yeah, I know that every single one of the Spill members just winced for hearing me try to talk like that. I winced as I was doing it. But this is a movie that's very aware of the fact that that is unnatural for white people to talk like that.
It's unnatural on a lot of levels.
It's unnatural for anyone to talk
It's for
like
anybody.
this at this
Because
point.
that's the thing. It's like, as much as you might go like, oh, they're all talking like they're black. I was like, trust me, there's not even black people who talk like this.
They're
hell
talking
no.
like black people in 80s dance films.
Yeah, exactly. to the extreme.
Hey, I saw a lot of 80s films, and I don't remember none of this shit.
Well,
It's got so many of the themes of 80s films. Usually like with some kind of cheap kung fu movie, maybe hardly, not even much dance. I kept thinking of, what's that Sylvester Stallone movie where he's arm wrestling over the top?
Over the top, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a combination of a lot of elements from lots of like 80s films, like the dance-off type movies, certainly, like Break-In or something like that, crossed with like post-apocalyptic biker film type stuff. Like, if you ever saw like Dead End Drive-In or something like that, you know?
Yeah,
like the Road Warrior aesthetic. But still, it's in that, I don't know
what time period,
universe or time period this is supposed to take place.
I mean,
in.
yeah, you're right, because when you first watch this, anyone who lived throughout the 80s, I mean, you'll see everything. I mean, I even saw like nods to like First Blood,
right?
You know, watching this thing. But yeah, I mean, it's somebody who really has a love and affection for 80s movies, so they decided to throw this script together and film this crazy apocalyptic dance movie, I guess.
Yeah. What is it? What the actual box say? It's like something about it. It's an ancient game.
It's an ancient game, which they don't even explain. Like, that's the only way you'll know, by reading the box.
What's it?
Yeah, and an ancient game becomes a deadly sport.
Well, I'm like, wow, I must have missed that part of the movie.
This is brought to us by Draft House Films, which of course is the Alamo Draft House, is like a rather new fledgling production label that is putting out pretty much exactly the kind of stuff you'd expect them to put out. It's like movies
shit like this.
movies based on the shit you watch before they play before the movies you see. Lots of campy stuff, lots of exploitation type fare, but new, which is always kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that you'd see if you ever attend Fantastic Fest that would never get distribution, pretty much. You know.
Yeah, and as much as, you know, like Alamo Drafthouse and Ain't It Cool, they love to celebrate B films and C and Z films and how bad they are. This captures that with all the camp, with all the ridiculousness, to the point to where when it started out, I was like, great, this is another one of those movies they love to just cheer over like a bunch of idiots, acting like something bad is good. This is just going to be stupid and painful. And damn it, if it wasn't 10 or 15 minutes into it where I was like, you know what? These guys, they aren't winking at the camera. I mean, they know what they're doing, but every one of these actors, they're behind it 100%.
They're totally into it, and they're not constantly kind of like in tone rolling their eyes at
Right.
the ridiculousness. It's like they are being so serious about it. It's hard to believe that they actually know it's a joke.
Right.
But you know, the way they advertise it by, I guess, putting out a 10-minute clip of that first 10 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot blame anyone. I think we posted it up, and if you could see the venom on the comments.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't blame a single person for feeling the way they did watching that 10, because
Oh, no,
that's kind of
no.
how I felt. Like, watching that 10 minutes, I'm like, holy shit, I don't know if I can even. I was really trying hard to turn it off.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to see this at some point. But after it, I was exhausted, and I was just like, wow, there wasn't a single moment in that 10 minutes that I laughed or gave a shit. I felt kind of embarrassed whoever put it together.
Sure.
So, I mean, I was like, okay, that 10 minutes should have been cut or never put out to preview for anyone, because it would easily turn you off of a movie like this. But as soon as that's over with, and it actually gets in the movie and it slows down, and, you know, I was like, okay, this I can digest, you know, because it's not all in your face. It's not like just a bunch of references and visual references to the 80s. I mean, you that's when you realize, oh, okay, they are trying to tell the story here.
Right.
Yeah.
And the story in question is two brothers, J-Tro and B-Tro, are total. I mean, like, you can't get any more 80s than these guys. They're basically wearing like slightly futuristic looking versions of Michael Jackson's wardrobe.
Well, or if Andrew Dice Clay's younger brother was the lead singer for Loverboy.
Yeah, exactly. That nails it. And they've just shown up, like, they're considered to be total badasses. People are cheering them on, like, oh, they're the great team, and they're there to challenge another team that's the bad team.
Yeah.
And they challenge them in question, playing, well, they don't call it Dance Dance Revolution, but that's what it is.
I'm sure they couldn't get the rights to it.
Yeah.
But it is like
they call it Beat Revolution.
Beat. And the setting, like we said, it seems almost post-apocalyptic, but I kept feeling like, you know what, this feels like it's happening down the street from where Hobo with a Shotgun is happening.
It really does, yeah. As soon as you see the trailer parks, you're like, well, every trailer park looks like the post-apocalypse.
Bitro ends up taking on a big, scary-looking Mohawk motherfucker, and midway through, like, the routine, he starts to hallucinate and starts to fade, and then he dies on the DDR.
He doesn't die,
right
he
there.
187.
Yeah, he does. Yes, like a moment complete with his brother looking up into the sky going, no!
Did it just a little bit better than Darth Vader did.
So we got a clip from there to some time later where J-Tro's out doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger at the beginning of Commando thing, like being a lumberjack. And his old friend,
KCDC.
Yeah, KCDC shows up to say, man, you gotta come back to the hood. We need you, dog.
No, bro, you don't know what it's like. Your brother, he told me to take care of you, and now you gotta take care of us. And this actor...
FP ain't what it used to be.
Yeah. Not since you left, J-Tro. I gotta say, man, like, the glue to this whole thing, like, everybody in this is white except this one actor, Art Sue, the Asian guy who does this. He is badass because he is so into it. Like, at first I thought this is ridiculous, and yet the more it went on, the more I'm like, I love this guy. He owns the screen.
Yeah, he's the most coked up Asian guy I've ever seen on the screen.
I had to wonder if, like, some of his most brilliant moments weren't improv or not.
Right.
They had to be. They had to have been, because I'm like, how do you put this in a script, and how do you memorize this shit?
This whole thing, like, they're trying to get him to come back because the evil guy who beat his brother to death in Dance Dance Revolution, however you do that, has, like, apparently taken over the town's only liquor store, right? And so he explains to him, and I'm doing this no justice at all, but he goes, you don't understand, man, he took over the liquor store and he's not giving out liquor to just anybody. The bums can't get any liquor. Without the bums, they can't stay here without liquor. Who's gonna feed the ducks if there are no bums around? And you know what? Now there's no fucking ducks. That's fucked up.
I think I was already started to come over to the movie side, but once he delivered that, I was like, all right, you got me now.
That was the winning moment, at least for that guy, where I'm like, why can't this movie just be about him?
But I mean, you're right. It's not completely about him, but he's in so much of it, and whenever he pops up, and somehow I was like, you know what? I'm just enjoying this for the comedy and the absurdity and the fact that these actors are totally into it.
Yeah.
Who cares about the story? But I'll be damned if I wasn't almost late getting to a recording session with you guys. I was like, I gotta watch the end. I know how every one of these 80s movies end, and yet I still gotta watch this to the end.
There's something about underdog stories where you just, I don't know, they grab you like a real badly done, like what is After School Special.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, this is ridiculous, this is stupid, but I gotta keep watching, you know?
Well, it's so just absolutely absurd, and yet, like I said, they're so serious about it all. And no one every character in this movie talks like that Wigger way. They all do, which you think would get old, but somehow it becomes more endearing doing as the film
I
comes
think the only
along.
wait, I guess he did talk. I was like, they could make maybe the big villain didn't, and I can't remember what that guy's name was.
Which I love. I love
LWE.
Okay, LW. I actually love that guy.
I love that guy too.
he was also like one of the bright spots about that film, just because he was so fucking crazy and outrageous and coked up,
and looked like he was like ready to snap into a.
He's like, "Come on, bitch! Come on, get back in the car! You suck my dick! Come on!"
It's funny because these type of films normally wouldn't be as rude as this is either, and sometimes that might bother me, and yet. All the like really crude humor was some of the funniest stuff in here. I thought
the crude humor reminded me a lot of Trauma once again. Because
absolutely.
This is in some ways it follows in the vein. It goes in the vein of that for a bit with these characters. These like the villain is a villain straight from he could have easily come from the Trauma world.
Yeah.
But I don't want to tell. Saying that though, there's no gore. There's nothing like.
No, there's really not.
There's nothing absurd that absurdly crazy. Just the only thing that's crazy is the dialogue, obviously.
Yeah,
but,
and the story alone.
The fact that battles are settled by Dance Dance Revolution.
And it's really important to these people.
Oh, yeah. Crazy important. But
it's, it's one of those things, like, normally you would expect them to at least have guys who could do, like, who are really badass at dancing or martial arts or something, who would, like, be doing impressive moves, like spinning around or something on it. But no, they don't even try to go there. Like,
No.
They don't.
The main character has, like, the biggest moon boots you have ever seen.
Right, you're like, how could you possibly dance in those?
I think they called pardon the word, but they call them nigger boots or something.
I'm not sure.
That's what they did. Is like, yeah, those are 100% nigger boots or something like that. And I was like, what? I
have never seen a black man wear boots.
No, and you never will. Trust me.
You're not where it's that cold.
But I mean, but okay. The thing is, at least while I was watching this, there were moments where the dialogue was getting a little tiresome, where I started to tune out sometimes. Especially when they bring in the romantic, the quote unquote romantic lead.
Quote for sure.
The romance between the lead guy and the chick, which was so ridiculous and kind of irritating at times, because I'm like,
well, she's basically like a drugged
she's
out
a whore.
hooker.
She's just a straight up whore, and it's like they're really trying to justify this relationship where this guy's pining over her, even though she's sucking the bad guy's dick all the time. Even during a car chase.
I love it. Yeah, there's like the final sequence, and he's like the bad guy's grabbed her and has run away in the car chase, and the whole time she's like, "What are you doing? Stop!" Goes, "Shut up!" and pushes her head back down. Where every time she comes up, she's wiping her mouth off.
And it's hilarious because as funny as that shit is, you still fucking hate her. You're like, why are you wasting your time with this dumbass?
But what makes it fun is that J-Tro being the badass of Dance Dance Revolution, he's the hero, and yet whenever he gets around her, he's like, well, whatever you want to do, I don't know. And you know what? You couldn't have a movie without this, like this, without a training montage.
Oh, naturally.
And there's one in here. Then it's just beautiful and how lame it is.
I know it's really lame.
It's like, how do you train for Dance Dance Revolution?
When you were a kid and you watched like Rocky and you wanted to have a training moment like that and you try to attempt that shit in your backyard, that's exactly what this looks like, which I have to give it some credit for that.
I can't help but think that like if this was a slicker production and like had more money behind it and bigger stars, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much.
Oh, no,
it would have been like Balls
awful.
of Fury or something where you're like, if I had just seen, if this had come out of nowhere and like you're like, wow, who are these guys? This is kind of funny.
It'd be extremely pretentious if they
exactly.
But the way it is, I was like, all right, there's enough good laughs in here. It did a lot of things I didn't expect it to, and you just get behind anybody who will actually, a bunch of unknowns who put up together a project like this. I mean, the lead guy Jason Trost, him and his brother Brandon wrote and directed this.
That's what I thought.
And apparently, I was reading something saying that like Jason actually had started his own form of martial arts that he designed that's
based on Dance Dance Revolution,
banned from competition because it's too deadly. And I'm like,
wait
a minute.
Maybe it's too stupid.
But either way, my hat's off to these guys for what they actually did. It's not like, please don't do a sequel. Seriously, don't.
No, don't.
Like move on, try something different. Mm-hmm. But in its own way, this kind of feels like something like Black Dynamite. It's like, oh, it's a satire that is totally with the material and honestly likes the stuff that it's copying from. Mm-hmm. And on that level, even though it's not the best film in the world, really, no one could say it is, but it still kind of charmed me enough to give it a low matinee.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you in that. You know what? It's that kind of movie that in this town they love to show it at midnight, and you get the filmerati who go and they cheer it, and I'm just the guy sitting there going like, wow, I should really be at home. I do not enjoy this kind of shit. This is the kind of movie that, you know, your Quentin Tarantino's and especially your Robert Rodriguez's love to go like, oh, that's great. I want to make a $40 million version of this. It's like, no, this right here, this I could get behind, where it is cheap and it's absurd, but everybody's completely into it. They don't break character, and it's very true to what it is. It had a lot of way more laughs than I expected from it. There's that point when it won me over, and I enjoyed it until the very end. And yeah, you know what? If somebody else came in and go like, I thought it was stupid, I couldn't argue with them. I'm like, you're right. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be cheap, stupid. If it doesn't work for you, I can't put up a good defense. For me, it was a matinee.
Yeah, it is one of those movies where I'm like, okay, this seems like something that would cater towards my taste. But, you know, after you mentioned Black Dynamite, I was like, wow, you know what? This compared to Black Dynamite is a fucking masterpiece compared to this. And I think that's because, like I said, the dialogue did get a little tiresome sometimes. It's like I really wanted to break from it. And, you know, the thing is, I've seen so many people try to do this that it's really hard to try to emulate those 80s movies because, you know, they weren't making those movies to be fucking ridiculous sometimes, which makes movies like that work. This, I mean, I do for what they accomplished, especially like, you know, I have to hand it off to those actors for memorizing this fucking ridiculous dialogue where, I mean, it's like you might as well just be spouting out fucking letters of the alphabet. I mean, it gets that,
and being
that
stoic.
Fucking, yeah, you're being so stoic, being so just into it. You know, I think they did a great job, but as far as a movie like this is something that if it were a Fantastic Fest and if I was drunk, I'd probably enjoy it a whole lot more, just knowing that I'm probably never going to see it or hear from this movie again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it was a rental. It's something I can watch just once, even though it starts off really painful.
Yeah.
But as soon as like you kind of just, you know, you kind of just calm down. You can go. You tell yourself, all right, look, it's just a fucking movie. It's going to end. It's going to end eventually. I think you'll have a definitely decent time with it. So.
I think this would be a good film to see with an audience, though. Really do.
It's one of those
and
times.
Beer.
Yeah, you're right. It
that
would
could,
be.
yeah,
Although
that,
sometimes that kind of audience can ruin it for me.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, seeing this like at Fantastic Fest and hearing so many people like just go crazy over it, that would piss me off because I'm like, you know what, it's not that fucking good.
Right.
I kept going through that with the comedies I was seeing at South by, where I'm like, guys, it's not that funny. It's like I might even enjoy it if you weren't acting about to lose your spleen because you're laughing so hard.
Right.
Chill out.
Yeah.
You know?
Fest madness.
Yeah.
Overtakes quite a few.
It really does. It gets annoying sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the one thing this movie was missing for me was a blooper reel, really, because did you want to see these guys break character in the end credits?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or see somebody get hurt doing a stunt on a DDR machine with those giant-ass moon boots?
No, yeah. Or just like DQ country motherfucking double D to the C to the... What the fuck am I reading here? Like, how did I get involved with this project again?
Author!
I love when you see the pictures of the actual actors, what they look like normally, how clean cut they are, and then to compare them to the movie, like, wow, dude, you're really good.
You got this, Teardrop. Come on.
I check this.
B-E-A-T, dog.
You're gonna take W down.
Dance with your mind.